Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're going to be looking at multimodal AI,
Oh, yeah,
which is pretty wild stuff.
it is.
It's this AI that can work with all kinds of inputs,
Yeah.
like text and images and audio.
Huh?
And the really cool thing is that it doesn't just give you back the same kind of information you give it.
Right.
So you don't just give it text and get text back.
Yeah,
You can give it a picture and get back a recipe.
exactly.
Or give it a recipe and get a photorealistic picture of the cookies.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. So how does it even work? Like, how can a system understand all these different forms of information?
Well, it all comes down to something called embedding.
Okay.
Basically, every piece of information, like whether it's text or an image or audio,
Yeah.
it gets converted into this mathematical representation.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a digital fingerprint
Okay.
that captures its meaning.
So we can tell what it is.
Exactly. And that lets the AI find relationships and connections between like totally different things.
So like a picture of a cat and the word meow.
Exactly. It can
Mm.
see that those are related even though they're different kinds of data.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So how does this all relate to all the buzz around generative AI?
Right.
Is it the same thing?
So generative AI is actually a broader term
Okay.
that includes any AI that can create content.
So that's like those text generators
Yeah,
and the AI music composers.
exactly.
Okay.
And multimodal AI is like a subset of that.
Uh-huh.
But what makes it special is that it uses multiple input types
Right.
to fuel that creative process.
So generative AI is like the parent,
You could say that.
and multimodal AI is the child
Huh?
that inherited all the creative genes,
Yeah,
but with some extra tricks up its sleeve.
that's a good way to put it.
And speaking of multimodal AI, there's one name that keeps popping up: Gemini.
Oh, yeah, Gemini.
Google's latest model developed by Google DeepMind.
Right.
What's so special about Gemini?
Well, Gemini is incredibly versatile. It can work with text, images, video, audio, even code.
Wow, that's a lot.
And it can switch between all these different modes seamlessly.
So it's like a true multitasker.
Exactly. And that makes it perfect for tasks that require a deep understanding of different input types.
I've been reading about what Gemini can do on Vertex AI.
Yeah,
It's Google's platform.
right.
And it can do things like extract text from images,
Uh-huh.
even handwritten notes,
Pretty incredible.
and then convert that text into JSON,
yeah.
which I guess is really important for developers.
Definitely, it's a key part of web development.
And it can even answer questions about images.
It can...
Like you could upload a picture and ask it what's in the picture.
Exactly.
So how would that actually work in the real world?
Okay, so let's say you're a doctor.
Yeah.
You're looking at a patient's x-ray.
Okay.
You could upload that to Vertex AI
Uh-huh.
and ask Gemini what abnormalities are present.
Wow.
And it could give you this detailed analysis pointing out areas of concern. Yeah, and even suggesting possible diagnoses.
That's incredible.
It could really speed up things.
Yeah.
Like diagnosis and treatment planning.
That's amazing.
And it's not just healthcare, you know.
Right.
You mentioned code generation earlier.
Yeah.
Gemini can actually understand and generate code in a bunch of different programming languages.
Like what kind of languages?
Popular ones like Python and Java.
So it's not just like a toy. It's
Oh, no.
It's actually useful for professional developers.
Yeah, it can write really high-quality code.
That's pretty wild.
It's not about replacing developers, though. It's more about giving them a helping hand.
So they can focus on the more creative parts of their job.
Exactly. It can handle the tedious stuff.
So a developer could be working on this really complex problem,
Right.
and they could just ask Gemini to write a specific function for them,
Mm-hmm.
and boom, they've got the code instantly.
It's like having an expert coding buddy right there with you.
That would save so much time and effort. So we've talked about healthcare and software development,
Yeah.
but where else could multimodal AI have an impact?
I mean, the possibilities are really endless.
Like what?
Well, think about education.
Okay.
Imagine personalized learning experiences for every student.
So like textbooks that adapt to how you're learning.
Exactly. They could answer your questions.
Wow.
And change the difficulty depending on how you're doing.
That would be a game changer for education.
For sure. And even in creative fields like art and music,
Oh, yeah.
you could have AI collaborating with human artists.
To make completely new forms of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're already seeing AI being used to create music and artwork.
Right.
But with multimodal AI,
Yeah.
it could go even further.
Because it can understand emotions.
Exactly. It could translate human emotions into art.
That's pretty mind-blowing.
It is. But with all this amazing potential,
Yeah.
we also need to think about the challenges.
Right, like what kind of challenges?
Yeah, for one, the impact on jobs.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people are worried about.
It's understandable to be concerned,
Yeah.
but AI is a tool.
Okay.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
So it's up to us to make sure we're using it responsibly
Exactly.
and not just letting it replace human workers.
Right. It's about finding ways for AI to enhance our skills
Yeah.
and create new opportunities.
So instead of fearing AI taking our jobs,
Mm-hmm.
we should be thinking about how we can work with it.
Exactly. See it as a collaborator,
Yeah.
not a competitor.
And that means we need to be ready to adapt and learn new skills.
Absolutely. Lifelong learning is key.
And speaking of staying ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
personalization is another area where multimodal AI could have a huge impact.
Oh, for sure.
Like imagine a world where everything online is tailored to you.
Yeah, like shopping recommendations based on not just what you've bought before,
Okay.
but also images you've saved or
Yeah.
even your emotional responses to different products.
Whoa, that sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Uh-huh.
But how realistic is that? Can AI really understand us on that level?
Well, we're not quite there yet,
Ah,
but we're getting closer.
As AI gets better at understanding human emotions,
Exactly.
the potential for personalization will just keep growing.
But that also brings up another important issue,
What's that?
data privacy.
Right.
Well, right.
Because if AI is collecting all this information about us,
Yeah,
how do we make sure our data is being used responsibly?
that's a crucial
Kind
question.
of big challenge.
It is. We need strong regulations
Okay.
and ethical frameworks to guide how data is used in AI.
So users need to know how their data is being used,
Absolutely. Transparency is key.
and they should be able to control their own information.
Exactly. It's about giving individuals power over their digital lives.
It sounds like there's a lot of work to do
There is, both on the tech side
Uh-huh.
and on the societal side.
to make sure multimodal AI is developed and used ethically.
We all have a part to play in shaping the future of AI.
And as we go deeper into this world of multimodal AI,
Yeah.
we need to remember that AI is ultimately a reflection of us.
That's a good point.
It's a tool we create,
Huh.
and its impact depends on the choices we make.
That's a powerful insight.
So let's bring things back down to earth for a second.
Okay.
What about the person listening right now? What can they do to get ready for this AI-powered future?
Well, first of all, stay curious.
Yeah.
AI is constantly evolving, so keep learning and exploring.
There are so many resources online.
There are courses, articles, even hands-on tutorials.
And don't be afraid to try things out.
Exactly.
Google Cloud offers free credits
They do.
for new users to experiment with Gemini on Vertex AI.
It's a great way to get a feel for the tech.
So don't just watch the AI revolution happen.
Right.
Get involved.
Yeah. And as you learn and experiment, start thinking about how you can use these tools.
In your own work or even your personal life.
Yeah, where do you see AI being helpful?
That's a great call to action. Don't just sit back and watch.
Right. Get in there and do something.
And remember, it's not just about the technology itself.
It's not.
It's about us,
Uh-huh.
about our creativity and our drive to make a difference.
Exactly. Technology is only as powerful as the people using it.
So let's use this incredible tool wisely
Yeah.
and ethically
Yeah.
to build a better future for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
This has been an amazing conversation.
It has been.
But before we wrap up,
Okay.
I want to leave everyone with one final thought.
All right.
We've talked about how multimodal AI can change industries
Yeah.
and personalize our experiences
Uh-huh.
and even make us more creative.
Right.
But what about the things we haven't even thought of yet?
That's the exciting part.
Stuff we can't even imagine.
The most amazing discoveries are often the ones we least expect.
It's like we're standing at the beginning of a new era.
It really is.
And it's up to all of us to shape what that future looks like
With our imagination and our ingenuity.
and our commitment to using this powerful technology for good.
Well said.
So stay curious, stay engaged.
And stay human.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into multimodal AI.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring.
See you then. It's
Yeah.
a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, people worry that as AI gets smarter, it might start taking over jobs in different fields.
Yeah, I get that. It's a natural concern.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that AI is just a tool at the end of the day.
Right.
Like any tool.
Yeah.
It can be used for good or for bad.
So maybe instead of worrying about AI replacing us,
Yeah,
we should focus on how it can make us better.
exactly. How can it help us improve our skills?
Yeah.
And even create new opportunities?
So like instead of AI taking a doctor's job,
Right.
it could help them diagnose patients faster?
Exactly. It could be like a diagnostic aid.
Yeah.
So doctors have more time for actual patient care.
And architects could use AI to come up with complex designs.
Yeah, and then they'd have more time to focus on the creative vision.
It sounds like we need to change how we think about AI.
I think so.
Instead of seeing it as a threat,
Oh.
we need to see it as a partner.
Yeah, a collaborator that helps us achieve more.
A partner that can help us do things we never thought possible.
Exactly. And to do that, we need to adapt
Right.
and be willing to learn new things.
It's all about lifelong learning.
It is if we want to stay ahead of the curve.
And speaking of staying ahead of the curve,
Oh, yeah.
personalization is another area where multimodal AI could really change things.
It could.
Imagine a world where all your online experiences are perfectly tailored to you.
That would be something.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. Think about it like this.
Okay.
You get shopping recommendations,
Yeah.
but they're not just based on what you bought before.
Okay.
They also consider images you've saved,
Uh-huh.
or even how you react emotionally to different products.
Like if I see a picture of a product and I smile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. The AI could pick up on that.
That's wild. It's like AI is reading our minds.
Uh-huh. It's getting pretty close.
But how realistic is all this? Can AI really get to know us that well?
Well, we're not there yet. Okay.
But we're definitely moving in that direction.
So as AI gets better at understanding our emotions,
Yeah.
it'll get better at personalizing things for us.
But that brings up another important point.
What's that?
Data privacy.
Right. Because if AI is learning all these things about us, we need to make sure it's not being misused.
Absolutely. We need to be careful about how our data is being used.
So what can we do to protect our privacy?
Well, for starters, we need strong regulations
Okay.
and ethical guidelines for how AI can use data.
So companies can't just do whatever they want with our information.
Exactly. They need
Yeah.
to be transparent
Yeah.
and give users control over their own data.
So I should be able to choose what information AI can see about me.
It's all about empowering people.
Yeah, giving them control over their digital lives.
That's the goal.
It sounds like a lot of work needs to be done,
There's a lot to figure out.
both with the technology itself
Yeah.
and with how we use it as a society.
We need to make sure AI is developed and used ethically
Yeah.
and responsibly.
Exactly. It's a shared responsibility.
Yeah, we all need to work together to shape the future of AI.
I agree. And as we go deeper into this world of AI,
Yeah.
it's important to remember that AI is a reflection of us.
How do you mean?
Well, we create AI.
Okay.
So the way it behaves
Yeah.
and the impact it has
Mhm.
depends on the choices we make.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's not some external force.
It's not.
It's something we're building.
We have the power to shape it.
So let's make sure we're shaping it for good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's use AI to make the world a better place.
And not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
For all of humanity, that's the goal.
That's a great message.
Yeah.
Love it. You know, we've talked about all the cool things multimodal AI can do,
Yeah, all the amazing potential.
but I think it's also important to ask, what does it all mean for us?
That's a big question.
Yeah, like how do we live in a world where AI is everywhere?
It's something we need to think about for sure. As AI keeps getting more powerful, we have to consider how it affects us.
Right? Like our relationships and even how we see ourselves.
Exactly. What does it mean to be human in an age of AI?
We talked about AI understanding emotions.
We did.
That's pretty amazing.
It is.
But could it also be a problem?
How so?
Like, what if we start relying on AI too much for emotional connection?
That's a good point. AI can help us communicate
Yeah.
and even provide companionship.
But it can't replace real human connection.
Exactly. Human connection is something special.
Right.
It can't be replicated by machines.
And what about decision making?
Oh, yeah, that's another big one.
As AI gets better at making decisions,
Mm-hmm.
how do we make sure humans are still in control?
We don't want to end up in a world where AI is calling all the shots.
Exactly. We need to feel like we have a choice.
Absolutely. Transparency is key.
Yep.
We need AI systems that we can understand.
So we know how they're making decisions.
Exactly. And users should be able to set limits on how AI is used in their lives.
So it's all about finding that balance, right?
I think so.
Between the power of AI
Yeah.
and our own humanity.
We need to make sure AI serves us,
Right.
not the other way around.
And that requires all of us to work together.
Technologists, ethicists, policymakers.
Everyone. We need to have a conversation about the future of AI.
It's not something that just happens to us.
Mm.
It's something we create together.
So for our listeners out there, what's the main thing you want them to take away from all this?
I'd say this. Multimodal AI is powerful.
It is.
And it's going to change our world in a big way.
But it's up to us to decide how.
Exactly. So let's be open-minded.
Okay.
And let's develop AI responsibly.
With respect for what makes us human.
That's the key.
This has been a fantastic conversation.
I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks for helping us dive deep into multimodal AI.
My pleasure.
And to everyone listening out there, stay curious, stay engaged.
And stay human.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.